I'm so excited about this interview. We're about to meet with Sid Kiala from Angola, one of the most incredible freelancers that I've ever met. Sid, thank you for joining Free Talk Africa today.
Thank you so much for having me, Des.
Of course. So Angola,
Yes.
You're one of the first freelancers I'm speaking to from Angola.
Yes, ma'am.
What brings you to Johannesburg?
Well, I was born in Angola.
Okay.
My family and I moved to South Africa about 20 years or so ago.
Yeah.
And I've been living here ever since.
And you went to school in Johannesburg?
Yes, I went to my tertiary and I did my matric here and everything here.
That's incredible. So how much do you feel you're South African?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say, to be honest, I'd say I'm more South African than Angolan.
Yes.
Just because I've been here for a longer time and
Yes.
I resonate more with the country.
Yeah.
But definitely I still have my Angolan heritage with me.
That's beautiful. It's important to keep on to that, to hold on to that, isn't
Definitely.
it? And tell me about your parents, because you're a freelancer,
Yes, I am.
right? And in my community, a freelancer is still being learned about and respected.
Yes.
What about in your culture? How do your family members see the word freelancer, and how do they appreciate you being a freelancer?
Well, to be quite honest, I became a freelancer because I was a student and I needed some way to have an income, to be able to do all sorts of things that students do. So it wasn't really a decision that my parents were too much akin to.
Yes.
Something I sort of had to take on myself to say that, you know what, this is something I wanted to do. I would like to make an income for myself. I would like to learn a skill, a talent, and offer my service. So it was more of a decision that I took on myself. And definitely along the way, they have seen the vision and they have supported, but they've always pushed education first.
Yes, I think that's a common ground for parents, right?
Definitely.
But if they ever asked you to get a 9 to 5, if they ever proposed that you go into corporate or you take your skills into a stable industry?
They've never said specifically that I have to go into this industry or be this type of person.
Yeah.
They just always wanted me to have an educational background, something that I can fall onto, So it wasn't a thing of they wanted me to be something specific.
Yeah.
So as long as I had an education, they were fine with whatever came subsequently.
And how often do you visit Angola?
Interesting question. I was born there,
Yeah.
but unfortunately I've never been there.
No.
Really,
That's impossible.
No, definitely. So my story is it's a bit of bittersweet story because I came here with my nucleus family and then I ended up being adopted by a different family. So I haven't had the opportunity to go back and reunite with my nucleus family.
That's interesting. That's
Yes.
interesting. But well done. You're a freelancer today.
Yes.
When did you finish your tertiary education? I'm just trying to build the gap between you ending your tertiary education to you becoming a freelancer.
Yes. So I finished my tertiary in 2023.
Okay.
Yes, and then that's when I started it in 2020 when I started, and I finished the tertiary in 2023, and now I'm still going on.
Okay, so from 2023 to today,
Yes.
you've been operating as a freelancer.
Just from 2020
2020.
when I started as a student. Yes.
So you've been earning an income as a freelancer as a student.
I've been trying to, yes.
And tell me about the struggle, because freelancers often talk about the paradise.
Yes.
I believe in the feast and famine, because there's always a point of you struggling and going through turbulence. Tell me about that, because at a young age, starting off as a freelancer, I'm so curious to understand what your observations were during those periods.
Yeah. So for me, it was quite difficult because I didn't really know much of what I was getting into. I didn't have a skill set that I could offer. I had to pretty much start from scratch and learn something that I could offer to the public. So I started with photography. I started to learn cameras, how to take pictures, how to do videography. And I got my first gig in 2020. I was actually the matric dance photographer for my high school.
It's incredible.
Yes,
And that was your first freelance gig.
that was my first.
Did that motivate you to go on further?
Definitely, because I got paid for it. I was very happy about that, and I saw that, this is something I can do, that I don't have to commit to a company or to a business or to anything. I can
Yes.
just do it on the side, still get paid, still
Yes.
provide a service, still hone in my skills, and still make an income.
But that's really ambitious of you, because you started off as a photographer, and
Yes.
one of the things I grasped on is that you said you learned photography.
Yes,
So you made a choice to further your studies, to stay curious, to learn, and to do something.
yes.
But today you're a graphic designer,
Yes.
and you're a social media specialist.
Um,
What happened between that matric dance to today?
Well, it was a natural progression because with photography, obviously you're going to take pictures and then you need to edit the pictures. You can't just submit raw pictures.
Yes.
So from photography, then I learned, okay, I need to edit my pictures and I need to present it in a way that's presentable. So that's how I moved on to being a graphic designer, moved on to being an editor, and then from there I was able to see the trajectory of how I can graphic design and put it out there in the public. Hence, I got into social media because that's the best way to present my work.
That's incredible because you stayed ahead of the curve.
Yes.
And you almost kitted yourself with now a suite of services to offer a client versus just saying, I'm a photographer.
Definitely.
Now you could say, I am a photographer, I'm a video editor, I'm a social media specialist, I'm a graphic designer.
Yes.
And that is quite a toolbox.
Yes.
When you market yourself to clients today,
Yes.
do you market your clients to local clients? Do you market yourself to local clients or do you market yourself to global clients? And I'm trying to understand, who are your clients?
So for me, predominantly, it's local clients.
Okay.
It's people that I engage with, people that I meet, businesses that I encounter, that I see on social media that I can offer my service to. Definitely, I'd love to work for an abroad company, whatever the case may be. But for me, it's more of a local-based company and that sort of...
Because I've seen your work.
Yes.
You're incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But what are some of your plans to scale? Because there's no way that level of talent
Yes.
can be as hidden as it is right now.
True.
And previously I was speaking to someone who, one of the things I was very curious about is, how do you market yourself? Are people not marketing themselves because they don't know how to market themselves? So I must ask you this question.
Yes.
Are you marketing yourself correctly?
I don't know if I'm doing it correctly, but I do it the best that I can. So I have several social media pages of my own that I run along with other people's social media pages. And that's how I am able to market my services. I'm able to have a photography page, I'm able to have a graphic designer page, and just sort of do an outreach to see where I can grab clients from, whether I'm engaging with people who like the content or engaging with businesses, whatever the case may be.
Because that was exactly your route to Free Talk Africa.
Definitely, yes.
You joined us, we took a look at your work,
Yes.
you showed an interest, you're marketing yourself right now
Yes.
to our audience. I'm going to ask you a question that I think is very important to me.
Okay.
The first question is, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, perfect. Because I would love your perspective in terms of advice for youth of today. There is a very common perception that today's youth are very entitled. Could that be a drive for hunger, ambition, and success, and not being per se entitled? Or is it entitlement? Is there an expectation the youth of today have? I know when I was growing up, I knew I needed to climb the ladder.
Yes.
Step by step, day by day, and go. But today's youth kind of just want to go straight to the pot of gold.
Yeah.
Is that ambition or is that entitlement?
I think you'd have to look at it at a case-by-case basis, because ambitiousness can sort of look like entitlement sometimes.
Yes.
You know? But I think the difference is when you're ambitious, you actually are putting in the work. You are doing something to get to that point that you want to be. Whereas being entitled is you're waiting for something to come to you and just chilling and waiting for the thing to come to you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're more ambitious, you're going after what you want. So I
Yes.
think that's what the difference is. And to answer your question about the youth, in South Africa, unemployment is rife. We all know that we're reaching almost 40%. So I think the youth need to understand that you can't sit around and wait for companies. You can't apply to 1,000 companies and nothing happens. You can't sit around and wait for government grants. You have to make something of yourself. Find a skill that you're interested in, hone it, and offer it to the public.
Yes.
So that you can get something back compensated, and that you can uplift yourself and empower yourself and actually have a job that you created for yourself.
That was going to be my next question. As a 25-year-old
Yes.
that started making money from his matric dance, which very few people can say, I'm very impressed. I don't think I've earned any money in my matric year, but as a 25-year-old,
Yes.
what is the key piece of advice you have for today's youth? Because there's nothing that gets me more anxious than the youth unemployment level,
Yeah.
like you said. I think our government in South Africa is significantly concerned about youth unemployment.
Yeah.
What is the one key piece of advice that you would give the youth of today?
I would say work on your work ethic. I think the most important thing you can have as a freelancer or even as a person in general is a very good work ethic. be perseverance, be diligent, and put yourself out there. Work hard so that you can achieve what you actually want. Because unfortunately, there's no free lunch, there's no free ride. Nobody's going to come and just give you a job. Even after tertiary, nobody's going to come and just give you a job.
Yeah.
The market is very saturated, it's very competitive. You have to put yourself out there and you have to be ambitious. Even if you're not an ambitious person, you have to build that ambitious. And it's something for myself that I had to build after school. I had to work on my work ethic, actually build something and have that work ethic in me that I can pursue what I want to pursue. Because nobody's going to come and save me.
That is one of the best pieces of advice I've heard in a really, really long time. And that is by a 25-year-old Sid from Angola, who could not have put it better for today's youth. Thank you very much for joining us.